accounts up here?
Yeah.
We got the, can't log in. Damn it.
We
Gotta
need
open it.
some open it.
Make it an
Yeah.
and so it can support it.
Yeah. Do it more.
Hey Eli, any chance you might
There
want
you
to
go,
give me
perfect.
side nights at the den job or something?
There you go.
I can't, sorry man.
Why it's moving?
I
I don't
appreciate
know.
the vote of confidence though.
That's weird. When you look at it, it's like, damn.
Alright, welcome Greg.
Thanks.
So this is what we got. We got all these users. You see that I don't show up in the list. And I can poke people. It's good that I can still poke people. So now let's sign in with Alright, ASDF. You get your time to shine.
.com, I guess. Oh, no. I don't think.
Alright, so Greg's here. I'm gonna poke Greg a couple times. I'll log out. So, oh yeah, sure, we can just log in right now. Oh, Bob does exist. Huh, that's funny. Well, here's Bob. Right, Greg poked me once, Tim 2 times, Mark 3 times, Frank 6 times, Timmy 12 times. Right, 5 people. Right, each user is unique and it shows the number of times that they poked you. Okay. So how does this all work? I don't remember. Let's find out. So this is in 2 different apps. So Poke app is its own standalone thing.
And the login reg is separate.
Login reg is separate. So let's go to URLs. So actually, let's just look at that real quick.
So is it a good design to have 2 apps or?
Oh yeah, totally. So here, if it's just root, right, it goes to login registration. But everything else goes to slash or poke slash whatever goes to the pokes app. Okay. And if we look
Yeah,
at
we are already in Poke apps, so.
no, this is global URLs.
Oh, okay. Oh, URLs.
So if we go and look at login, we have login, logout, and register, right? And then the index page. And then we go to the views. Once you log in, so route is poke app home, right? That's where you enter. So named routes are pretty cool. I suggest you look into learning them. You don't have to, but it makes stuff like this a lot easier, right? Because login, basically what I did, this was just kind of me trying to make things a little cleaner. But root is just login app root, right? So this is how the syntax for named route, app name, route name. And then I say, I just basically set the route that I'm gonna end up at to root at the beginning of all of these.
Why do you do that? Why don't you just put it down to just put the root inside the reverse?
So when I was building this, I was talking to someone at the time and they were saying that the best functional architecture is having only one return value in any one of your functions. And then changing the return value throughout, but only having it return one time at the end. So here you see, if method is equal to post, I do the login, right? I get the result of the login method. I process the login, which basically just does the set status and does errors.
So you always return.
And then
one return.
Yeah, but then at the end, I just say return, and then this is the syntax for the named routes again. So I just redirect to the route, whatever route I ended up at, right? Either root or the one that I got back from process login, which might also be root, right? Or it could be the poke app home, if it was successful.
So you just change the route.
Right? But everything else just redirects to root. I just figured it was a little cleaner to just say this.
reverse route is twice. So reverse is like a method or something?
Yeah, this is for doing named routes.
That's right.
We're really playing.
Just like named routes. So this is my login register, right? And it's a completely standalone thing. And basically I just say like, once I'm done, I set the session, and then I go to PokeApp home. And then I leave the login and registration app. So PokeApp, URLs, I've got home, and I've got poke, and then some ID, right? So, go look at the views, right? I just have two routes. Poke says, so I've got some stuff up here, I import my models. This is importing the user model from login and registration, right? So I have to go out to login and registration, then go into the models and import the user model. Okay. And why did I need the user model? Oh yeah, because I need to be able to get the logged in user, right? So I get that, I import the poke model. If we look at the models real quick,
Yeah, that's one.
I did it the same. I guess I actually did just do two foreign keys. And the reason I did this is because I wanted the functionality to be separate from the login model, right? Now that I think about it though, I probably could have just extended the user model. So here, I could have probably just said like poke extends user, but I don't know, I don't really like that. But this is fine, right? So we've got poker and pokey, both users. This is pokes made, this is pokes received. Right, got a created at, we got a poke manager. Poke manager just says, let's validate that both of the user IDs I got were valid, right, that they actually had users. If they do have users, then I just say, all right, let's create a poke, and the poker is gonna be the logged in user, always, right, and the pokey is whatever other user the poke was.
I'm thinking, why would you need to create, I don't know, because in my mind, I'm just thinking you create whatever you have to post.
Poke?
No, you could use poke.objects.create or anything like that only when you have like posts from the forums.
I mean, it's just creating something in your database, right? It doesn't have to be off a post.
Logged user and, okay, so logged user equals user objects.get ID, which is a user session, I'm assuming, your ID.
Yeah, so let's look at how I actually use this. In the views, so that's the home, we can look at that in a second. But when you make a poke, first I check the user ID in session, if it is good. Otherwise I go back to the login root, right? Here, so let's talk through this. So user ID is gonna be the logged in user. ID is the user that I poked. And then you just pass in ID, user ID, redirect back to the root. Right, which in this case is,
How often or under what circumstances do you have to call if user ID and request that session? You know what I mean?
yeah, I get you. So this line, what in high level concepts, who can tell me what this line means?
That you're logged in? If you're
That someone is logged in.
Yeah.
That's what it means, right? And this is user ID for me, it's whatever you stored in session to determine whether a user is logged in. It should always be a user ID, right? Because with that user ID, you have access to all of that user's information, right? It's the only thing that you can be sure is unique, other than an email, but like don't store the email, right? Just store the ID, it's small. So this just means if someone's logged in. If they're not logged in, they shouldn't be on this page, right?
That makes sense.
So every one of these just says if the user is logged in, right? If they got here